welcome to Canal Algérie's news in English and in today's top stories. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, received a phone call from the President of the French Republic, Emmanuel Macron, where they discussed bilateral relations, cooperation, and regional and international issues of common interest. In a qualitative operation of the National People's Army, 2 terrorists were killed, 2 others were wounded and arrested, while heavy weapons and equipment were recovered in the operational sector in Gazem. Algeria is a guest of honor at the 30th edition of the Dakar International Fair, an opportunity to introduce more Algerian products to the African market and to promote trade and investment relations. In the 30th edition of the Algerian Production Fair, the National Defense Ministry's Center of Engineering and Development in Mechanics and Electronics stand continues to attract larger numbers of visitors. In Morocco, the demonstrations continue in many sectors across various cities of the country, while the corruption scandals of El Makhzen continue. Details in a few minutes. Good evening, those were today's headlines. First in our news, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, received a phone call from the President of the French Republic, Emmanuel Macron, where they discussed the bilateral relations and the perspectives of cooperation between both countries. On the occasion, both presidents exchanged points of views on the situation in Libya and the Sahel region and regional and international issues of common interest. As part of the fight against terrorism and thanks to the efficient exploitation of intelligence, detachments of the National People's Army shot dead during an ambush carried out Saturday, December 17th, near the southern border strip at the level of the operational sector in Ingazam in the 6th military region. 2 terrorists were killed, one of which is a charred body. 2 others were wounded and arrested. Heavy weapons and other equipment were also recovered during this operation. These include 4 Toyota station vehicles charred, 3 heavy machine guns caliber 12.7 millimeters charred, 1 machine gun type FMPK charred, 6 Kalashnikov machine guns type PMAK charred, 1 Kalashnikov machine gun type PMAK in good condition, 1 unidentified machine gun charred, 1 RPG-7 rocket launcher charred, 1 SDV type sniper rifle charred, 1 Turaya satellite phone, 2 smartphones, 2 mobile phones. This quality operation reiterates once again the determination and commitment of the National People's Army forces to secure our borders and to clean our country of the scourge of terrorism in order to establish peace and tranquility throughout the national territory. Algeria is a guest of honor in Dakar on the occasion of the 30th edition of Dakar International Fair, FIDAK, for the Minister of Trade. This fair is very important, especially that Dakar will soon host a permanent exhibition of Algerian products according to the instructions of the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune. More details with Rania Al-Bahri.
Trade between Algeria and Senegal reached in 2021 $35 million. A cooperation that the 2 countries aspire to develop further through the increase in the volume of bilateral trade within the framework of the African Free Trade Zone and the facilitation of cooperation activities between the companies of the 2 countries, in particular after the opening of the Algiers-Dakar shipping line.
Avec une grande délégation économique et des opérateurs, on a discuté de
With a large economic delegation and operators, we discussed the existing cooperation and how this cooperation will develop, especially with the decision of our President of the Republic to open a platform dedicated to exports here in Senegal. I held talks with my counterpart. We will try to work together to achieve the objectives that interested both parties, especially with the existence of a shipping line and airline, in addition to the opening of the Algerian Bank here in Dakar. More than 100 economic operators from different sectors of activity took part in the 30th International Fair in Dakar, a real opportunity to secure win-win partnership and enter to the African market.
Nous avons été instruits par
We have been instructed by the President of the Republic with regard to the Senegalese government following his visit and following the audience. Be assured that the government will implement its orientations and competent ministers will implement these directives. Strengthening economic and trade cooperation with Senegal will enable Algeria to boost a new export dynamic to Africa.
The 30th edition of the Algerian Production Fair, the Central Material Directorate units reporting to the National Defense Ministry were among the most popular stands. More details with Sabine Tefirginit.
With their remarkable presence at the Algerian Production Fair, the stand of the Center of Engineering and Development in Mechanics and Electronics seems to attract many visitors. It is one of the 3 Central Material Directorate units of MND, with the mission to offer calibration services and establish the conformity of certain products and materials. Our stand shows the impact of metrology in the industrial field and its importance on developing the industry and upgrading national production, presenting the physical, chemical and thermal activities and its important role on improving the quality of national products.
Analyse physico-chimique et thermique et son rôle primordial dans la promotion de la qualité des produits nationaux.
Not too far away, the establishment of renovation of automotive equipment exposed its products and services. Our mission is to repair and renovate light and heavy vehicles as well as public works machinery. We also produce spare parts for certain types of engines. The central logistics base of MND was also present at the fair, offering their services such as material maintenance and the manufacturing of spare parts. We manufacture 45% of the country's military vehicle spare parts. We also have contracts with Sonatrach, Sonalgaz and the Algerian Water Company. We also repair, renovate and modernize heavy vehicles, and we provide support for Algerian public and private companies in terms of manufacturing and repairing spare parts. The Central Logistics Base plans to produce its own batteries for heavy vehicles, a project planning to see the light.
A conference was organized on Saturday in Algiers by the ambassador of the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic in Algeria in the presence of experts who unanimously agree on the urgent need for the MINURSO to take responsibility to enable the Sahrawi people of organizing a referendum of self-determination. Min al-Ammari.
The Sahrawi people continue their struggle for independence and organizing a referendum on self-determination. That is the main issue addressed during the debate, which brought together experts in the strategic and security area. Emphasis was placed on the need to implement international charters and resolutions to put an end to the flagrant violations of human rights in the occupied Sahrawi territories. The Sahrawi issue is an issue of decolonization. The MINURSO and the UN Security Council failed their mission. The reason behind this failure is the Makhzen regime's schemes, which prevent the achievement of a peaceful solution through possible means. The Sahrawi people are determined more than ever to snatch their independence, armed by their unwavering will to continue their struggle, despite of all the difficulties. The Sahrawi people will never abandon their land or their rights.
Le Maroc est en train de spolier les ressources naturelles, d'exercer d'une manière systématique une répression sans égale.
Morocco is spoiling national resources, carrying out a systematic repression without any regard, and is taking steps to impose a deal which would not hold on the political or judicial level. The Sahrawi people are more than ever determined to continue their peaceful and lawful struggle, as well as the right to directly resist on the military front. It is an issue of decolonization, which is what they are doing at the level of the 4th UN Commission, in charge of special political issues and decolonization. The Sadr is a founding state of the African Union and has the responsibility of breathing new air to this issue. This conference reminds participants of the importance of continuing the fight on all fronts in order to liberate the last African colony.
In Morocco, the demonstrations continue to spread across various cities of the country. In Agadir, the unemployed doctors expressed their anger and denounced their exclusion from the health system. They are even beaten up when they claim their rights. Rania Al-Bahri with the details.
The deterioration of the situation in Morocco continues to worsen, pushing the Moroccan people to take to the streets to protest against the high cost of living and to denounce the repressive policy of the Makhzan, a policy which has completely erased the middle class, leaving a place only for a deprived category. For years already, the Moroccan people have been denouncing their difficult social conditions, and even today, the Moroccans remain in turmoil, and their demands are multiplying in the face of a careless government.
حنا دابا الاوضاع ديالنا سيئه وزيد عليها الغلاء المعيشي والفقر ديالنا واش تزاد.
Our conditions are very bad, and in addition to the high cost of living, how is it possible that we are in winter season in a very miserable situation? We live in a very miserable conditions here in Agadir, and we hate waiting because we have waited a lot. Demonstrations follow one another and affect several sectors and regions of Morocco, in particular the health sector. Unemployed doctors have decided to intensify their fight against the government that they consider responsible for this situation. We condemn the barbaric interventions that affect the physical and moral integrity of the unemployed doctors, who are considered like a time bomb that can explode at any time. There are no unemployed doctors in the world, with the exception of Morocco, in a time called the New Era, but the reality is different. The numerous public protests that have taken place bear witness to the deplorable socio-economic reality, and Moroccans, for their part, seem determined to continue their fight until their voices are heard.
More details came to light regarding the corruption scandal that shook the European Parliament. The former French MEP José Bové accused the current Moroccan Prime Minister of a corruption attempt that goes back to 2009 and 2014, when José Bové was the rapporteur of the Foreign Trade Committee. Sabrin Tefergednit.
The former MEP José Bové revealed during his appearance on the radio that he had been offered bribes by former Moroccan Agriculture Minister Aziza Khanouch, who is currently the head of the government, in the framework of the free trade agreements on fruits and vegetables. This testimony deepens Morocco, already involved in a resounding corruption scandal within the European Parliament.
J'étais rapporteur de la Commission du commerce extérieur dans les années 2009-2014, et à ce moment-là, j'ai été en charge du dossier.
I was the rapporteur of the Foreign Trade Committee between the years 2009-2014. At that time, I was in charge of the file on the free trade agreement on fruits and vegetables with Morocco. As the rapporteur, I objected this project, since it was harmful for Moroccan and European producers. What actually happened was that, under the pressure from the Moroccan Agriculture Minister, who is now the Prime Minister, who had the support of his private club, including MEPs, the minister didn't stand the fact of me objecting this project. He offered me a gift at Montpellier in a coffee shop.
Toute tendance politique du Parlement européen, eh bien, le ministre de l'Agriculture, ne supportant pas que je puisse m'opposer à ce projet, m'a proposé de m'amener un cadeau à Montpellier dans un café qui soit discret.
In Morocco, things are just getting worse. A country shaken by a series of scandals which hit the leader's reputation. These revelations spark another controversy and threaten the stability of a whole country.
In a sad news, the journalist and Sahrawi activist Mohammed Salim Bouchraya, who was deported past November from the occupied city of Laayoune to the Canary Islands, despite his critical health condition, thus depriving him of spending his last days with family and loved ones. Human rights organizations across the world denounce this act. Mohammed Salim Bouchraya was known for his fierce fight for the right of the Sahrawi people. Internationally, still, Tunisians voted on Saturday in the different regions of the country to choose the representative at the parliament after 3 weeks of electoral campaign. 9 million voters are called to choose the representative. And with that, our news edition comes to a close. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great night.